Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
Back here on Southside's campus with these three gentlemen. I'm going to let these gentlemen introduce themselves at this time.
Cody Roberts, number 1, wide receiver.
Mark Fuller, number 71, left guard.
Jason Smith, number 10, QB.
All right, kind of the same kind of questions we asked the defense. You guys have had the same staff in place now, so very familiar with the staff. Obviously, it's probably a lot more comfortable for you guys. But before we get into that, I want you to take us back from when football season ended last year, kind of catch us up with what you guys have been up to football-wise. We'll start right here with Cody.
After the season last year, we took a little while off, and then we got back into lifting after Christmas break. And ever since then, we've just been working. And, then spring rolls around, we start installing a little bit before, and then spring practice, spring game, we're here now.
Yeah, the workouts the off-season workouts, they felt different. There was a lot more energy, a lot more people holding each other accountable. It was a lot harder work. And the installs, they took time, helped us, instead of shoving it all in our face. It was, let us learn it. But overall, it was just a lot better.
Yeah, and I didn't really get to start doing the workouts and stuff because I played 3 different sports, and I went from basketball to baseball, but then my shoulder ended up starting to hurt me and stuff, so I came. And then that's when I started doing football workouts. It was like middle season of baseball season or whatever. And then we got rolling into spring training, and we started getting to work and then played our game, and then we had an off week, and now we're back at it.
Gage, same question for all you guys. We'll start back with you. Having Coach Holcomb here, which I kind of mentioned a minute ago, having that year under your belt now that you know what the offseason looks like, you know the offense inside and out, how much more comfortable are you at this point now as you were opposed to last year?
Yeah, I'm a lot more comfortable now because like last year when we went in the 7-on-7s and stuff during the summer, I wasn't real sure and what I needed to read or who was doing what during it because it was just all new or in the season like some of this. By then I was kind of catching on to it, but early on it was kind of rough learning it like learning who blocks who and stuff still because I got to know everybody on the field what they're doing because they come to ask me. I got to be able to tell them when they're playing on the football field and stuff. So it was, but now it's clicked. It's especially since he's been working with me a bunch, and it's clicked now.
It's probably slowed down a lot.
It has.
Yeah, I've learned, just me personally, I've learned a lot of these plays a lot more better. It's just like he said, it clicks a lot better. It kind of slows it down, lets you think about it a little bit more, so you can make the better block or stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, having that 1 year under our belt changes a lot because everybody's comfortable. Now we're in the position where us three guys right here we're stepping up now, and we can teach all the younger guys. We're still learning ourselves still, but it's a whole lot better.
All right, right back to you, Cody. Your role in this team obviously manifested. You've played under some really great receivers and been a big part of that receiving core, and now obviously you're going to be looked to be the guy pretty much on this team. Talk about your individual roles, and then each one of you guys are going to do the same.
Yeah,
how it's changed this year.
My individual role, been starting varsity since 9th grade. Just having to step up each year just a little bit more, and this year at its fullest because senior year I'm expected a lot out of, and I'm ready for that. I'm ready for the challenge, and I know these guys are too. So
absolutely.
Yeah, like you said, I've been starting since 9th grade, so I've had a lot of time to work with other people, and they've taught me a lot of good things. So I'm excited on working with the younger people and teaching them a lot better things, so when they get in my position, they can just keep carrying it on.
Yeah, mine I have to be able to lead our offense and take them to the highest point that we can get to this year to be able to be as most successful as last year, because a lot of last year we were young and we really relied on the defense a lot to get a stop and stuff because they had a bunch of seniors graduate. Now this year we're going to have to take that role in going into this season because they're young on defense and we're older on offense, so that's
right.
One of the things we're going to have to do.
One thing I really liked about last year's team, I didn't get to ask the defense this, but I'm going to ask you guys this. Expectations from the community and surrounding communities, they thought, well, Southside's done. They graduated 25 seniors, you cash in your chips. I thought y'all you went and beat Oxford and actually had several big wins and met and surpassed those expectations in a lot of people's eyes. That kind of has flipped now. Now people are expecting it. They think, well, this is going to be, us moving forward, but people don't realize the amount of work and stuff that has to happen to make that possible. Talk about that and how the expectations from everyone else outside and in these locker rooms has changed.
Yeah, after last year, I think we kind of surprised a lot of people. A lot of people were doubting us, like you said. But the work that we put in the off season and everybody else just puts in during the season is what's going to take us as far as we can go. And just like Gerard today, he was talking about it right after our workout stuff. He was trying to get everybody hyped up about it because he's right. What we do during the off season is how it's going to turn out during the season. So if we work hard during the season, it's going to pay off. During the off season, it's going to pay off during the season.
100%.
Yeah, basically, just like you said, just hard work, little things. We have to get it done. Just getting 1% better, so we can use what we do or what we worked on in the off season and the season.
Yeah, this summer, everybody's goal is just get better. Fly around, have fun, play at your fullest. That's what it is.
No doubt. From a chemistry standpoint, how comfortable are you guys together at this point, knowing what you guys have, and you ain't got to look over your shoulder? And as he said earlier, now you guys have the more seasoned team than the defense.
Yeah, it feels good, definitely. Already, we've all been here for a couple of years now, and we're all older guys. We still got some young guys, but they're really good, and so it feels good.
From the 4 years that I've played, this is the most comfortable and together I felt as a team. Because I know everybody has everybody's back, no doubt. another person next to me, is we all want to do the same thing. We all want to succeed. We all want to get better. It doesn't have to be told to anymore. It's just everybody knows what needs to be done to get better.
Yeah, most of the people I play with now on the team, we've played since we were in Pee Wee and stuff. So like we've all been together, playing together. So it's that time that we come here and show up for the cities.
Oh, ain't no doubt. Now, we'll go back here and then we can close the video down after this. Gage, I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, expectations. The city's looking at you. Coaches are looking at you. Your fans are. What do you guys have to do individually to drive this team to be peaking when that season hits in August?
Well, it's working in the off season. It's going out on the field like we always do, throwing and stuff, and going to camps and doing the 7-on-7s and OTAs and all that. That's what's going to get us to the next level that we need to be at for the season, which is we've got to try to go all the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same thing you were saying. It's that off time work, just stuff that you can just do anything to get better. Going out on the field, footwork, speed stuff. Even just correcting what in the playbook, just little things like that.
Yeah, I think that our biggest thing is just not taking anything for granted, because we got about 8 weeks probably of the off season right here in front of us. It's here now, and we got to capitalize right now.
I mean, technically, y'all are next up,
Yeah.
and next season up for the school. So, I mean, y'all are on deck. So, you're right. I appreciate you guys sitting in with me.
Yes, sir.
All right, we are here on Southside High School's campus with 3 very special young men. I'm going to let these gentlemen introduce themselves at this time.
Smiley Jones, number 2, corner at Southside High School.
Gerard Harden, number 21.
Todd Riggs, number 34, middle linebacker.
All right, guys. We're coming into, one thing I like about this season, you guys have had the same staff, same coaches. And in this case, Coach Bowen is kind of your guys you guys lean on a lot. Take us through a little bit, after last season ended and what you guys have done so much in the off season, obviously heading into these very important summer workouts, which I heard you talking about earlier today. We'll start from Smiley and go this way.
Starting off from last season to this season, he's on us a little bit tougher now, because he expects, the seniors and stuff, and tight end, he expects us to come out there and perform and show what we got. So, and then he expects us to lead younger guys to higher standards. So, yeah, he's a little bit more tougher on us now than last year.
No doubt.
Going off what Smiley said, Coach Bowen was here last year, so he was kind of putting in his foundation of what he wants us to do. So we were still getting used to how everything was going and learning how he coaches and stuff. So this year, it's like a standard of we should already know what he's doing, how he likes his stuff, how he likes us to run the practice. And he kind of, sometimes he'll put it on us to lead these younger guys and stuff when we're doing certain things like that, because he expects us older guys like me, Smiley, Titan still a junior, but next year and stuff, he'll be that guy that he just puts on Titan, and Titan's going to be able to lead them like that, like how we are doing this year.
No doubt.
Yeah, going off him, big thing, leadership. Last year we really didn't have a bunch of leaders. So this year, it's a big thing with leadership, just holding the kids accountable for the little things, a bunch of little things. In the spring game, there was a bunch of plays that could have went a bunch of different ways. There was one play, it was a midline, and we had guys that didn't know exactly what to do, and they ended up costing it. They ran a touchdown. Teams like that, they can take to the house whenever they want. So
Yeah, that
little
multiple
things.
guys are good.
Just little things. It's just the little things we really got to clean up, and if we do that, who knows where we'll go.
Titan, starting right back with you, how much more comfortable are you guys as a whole, knowing you got this system under your belt, a whole year of it, and then rolling in, you already know the personality of your coaching staffs and your guys around you?
It's a lot easier. My first game last year, it was everything was going 90 to nothing. And then as the year went on, it kind of just the game really started to slow down for me. So it's gotten way easier. for sure.
Oh, like definitely, like me coming in last year, I didn't know a lot of these guys, so I didn't know who I could count on. I didn't know the coaches as well. So, but throughout the summer and stuff, I knew I could count on them, but it just wasn't as much as I'd like it to be. But this year, I definitely know if I'm not making that play in the backfield, then Titan's going to be there. And if Titan can't get that guy, I know Smiley's going to do everything he can to get there and be there. So, I definitely got trust in both of these guys right next to me and all the other, 9 that are on the field with us. So that's just what I like to do. I like knowing I can trust them and I can trust Titan and Coach Bowen every day.
You guys around you and your coaches. That's awesome.
Back on what he said, it's just I mainly really depend on them two to do all the work. Really, if you want me to be honest. But
they can create opportunities for you.
Yeah, most definitely. But I trust them guys because they help us out a lot. So it's really a big deal. And then I feel comfortable because we've been practicing since how long? We've been going with players for a while. So
yeah.
Well before the spring started.
I'm a little bit more comfortable now. But
and one thing I like about go ahead.
You go ahead.
Hey, one thing I like about this staff is they're always evolving and changing and looking to get better. Talk about this staff, the defensive coaches, obviously Coach Bowen, but the other guys on the staff and how they always are looking to get a little bit better and change up even their styles.
One thing I like about this stuff is that they really believe in us and they depend on us. So, and then it's the cultures too, though, like Coach Holcomb would say, they trying to change the culture around the city. So I just like that about the staff because they're not like every other school. So they different.
Definitely.
All our defensive coaches and overall, everybody wants what's best for you. They want you to get to where they know you can go. And Coach Bowen, he'll do anything in the world to help you. Whatever you need, he'll get you. Coach Knight, my defensive line coach, he's always asking questions from me. I go to different camps. He's asking me what we did there, how he can get better too, not only for us, but for everybody else. Because if he's not getting better, then no one is. And so, Coach Scoop, he's getting Smiley and all them good. He's taking all his experiences from what he's learned throughout his years and stuff, and he's putting it into them. And hopefully they'll one day be able to do the same thing. But, Coach Bowen and Coach Knight, them two, really, they're always asking me stuff. Coach Bowen's always wondering, this is his second year being a defensive coordinator now, but he's always asking me questions of how I like doing certain things and what could he possibly do to be better for me, not only on the football aspect, but as being just like a person I could talk to and, just tell him anything he wants to know where I got to get off my chest. But I definitely love that about them because I feel like all my coaches really, I could tell them anything that happens. And I love that because that's just what every kid needs. They don't need a coach, but a father figure, whatever they can provide for us is what I love.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the coaching staff. They're just really relatable. You can just, like he said, you can go to and talk to them about anything, life, anything like that. They're younger coaching staff, so we can relate to them. And I just like that about it. And me and Coach Bowen, we talk all the time. We have a great relationship. Me and Coach Holcomb talk all the time. So, I'm always asking him about questions about, my 40 time, how I can get better, just everything like that, and go to him and talk to him at any time. And I love that about it.
That's a double-edged sword, though, having a younger staff like this. Y'all can't pull the wool on them. Little slogans and stuff like that. And they know what you're doing on social media. Keep a little bit more tighter leash around you guys. Titan, right back with you. Kind of final thoughts heading into this off season. Just your role in general and what that's going to look like.
I gotta step up, be a leader. Go full speed every day, 100%. Hold everyone accountable, and that's pretty much what I gotta do. So,
my role honestly is just getting 1% better every day. Doing what I can to be better for my team and only also myself. Because I want to go somewhere. But if I'm not getting better for anybody else and just myself, then that's not being a good teammate at all. Because I'm just thinking about myself, but also being a good leader. Because like Titan said earlier, last year, we had those older guys who'd step up every once in a while, tell you to do something. But now I like it especially because we got guys every single day. First day of summer, we're telling kids to get their foot behind the line. We're not letting any of that slack go this year. But definitely being a leader, talking to these younger kids who just if you see them, even if they aren't doing something wrong, just telling them, giving them tips on something. But just definitely getting better for myself and not only myself but the team, which is just what I plan on doing.
Really, what these two guys said, just get 1% better and just keep grinding every day. And being a better leader to the younger guys because if we don't show them, no one else is. So just really just that, working hard every day.
Hey, last question. Y'all can all answer this. We got 3 levels of the defense here. Which level's the best?
Me.
Mine.
Middle. Mine.
Come on,
The
though.
linebacker.
We shouldn't even have to have this discussion. Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
I had to ask you. Hey, guys, I appreciate you guys sitting in. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, we are here on campus at Southside with the head ball coach, Miles Holcomb. We did a show with Coach Holcomb last year and going to do the same this year. But before we get into all that, we're going to this is our preseason video. Instead of getting everybody together for media days under Average Joe's name, we come out and do media days with the coaches and film them working out and calisthenics and different things in the off season, and then let them talk. And now we're going to have Coach Holcomb talk. Coach, kind of tail end off what we asked the players earlier. Same kind of question. Take us football-wise from the moment season ended to where we are right now.
So we finished up, obviously after the first round, and we have a ton of multi-sport guys. Like I think we had 74 guys, on the roster that was lifting during the season, and that dropped down to like 22, like in the off season, because we got guys that go to baseball, we got guys that are soccer, we got guys that are basketball, we got wrestlers, and so, we decided to give them from the end of the season until right when we got back from Christmas break off. We had asked them to be up here 4 days a week and really, like, I think from March 22nd of last year, we were bringing them in the morning, doing speed development in the morning, and then lifting them in the afternoon. And that was 3 days a week. Well, then we just, we felt like our kids were kind of exhausted, for lack of a better term. So we gave them off that time. We came back in. We started our triphasic lifting, and our kids responded. I mean, it was incredible. We had 2 kids that were 1,000-pound club lifters with 3 lifts. Jacob Strunk and Cole Chastain were both 1,000-pound club lifters, just doing bench, squat, and clean, which was huge for us. Like, that's a big deal. Like I think we pride ourselves on, especially here, about being a strong, tough, physical team. And so for those guys to be willing to put that type of work in was awesome to see. And this first full off season, which I was excited about. I didn't really know, what it looked like to, go through phase 1 with our kids. And they did an awesome job. I mean, I think really it's one of the cleanest off seasons that I've ever been a part of when in the idea of the level of investment the kids had. Of each other, and like the way they held each other accountable, and the way they tried to find out, like, hey, why ain't so and so here today? Like, we'll text him, we'll get him here. And that's what you want to have happen. Like, every day when they walk in here and they feel like they're excited to be here, that's the goal, you know. And I got a chance to know them a little bit better individually. We met after the season was over. I met with each one of them, and for a coach, I think that's important because I don't, looking back on last year, you never know how kids respond to your type of coaching until you coach them. And I can't say enough about last year's senior class. I think we had 7 guys get an offer, and 3 of them decided to go play at the next level. And I love those guys. I love them to death, and I'll never be able to repay them for what they bought into doing. It was so much different than really what they had done in the past. And they're great dudes. I'm gonna miss them, but they're back around. They were all here at the spring game, so that was fun to see. And then we rolled right into the spring practice, which was not the spring practice that I had anticipated having. I was excited about getting there. I was excited about getting back out on the field and seeing like what we look like. And I didn't plan on going through the first week of spring having to watch practice tape in a hospital, And so that was challenging. Week 1, not being able to be here, not being able to be around the kids not being able to be around the quarterbacks and kind of walk them through like, hey, look, this is how we read this one out. This is how we're installing this. And that's tough. I think that's the first time since I've been coaching that like I wasn't at a practice or didn't get to be like present at a meeting that we had, which was that was a big deal, and then week 2 had a chance to kind of come back, but then like still was a little bit different because like as soon as we would finish up practice, like I'd get in the car and drive back, to Birmingham. So like I missed the time with our quarterbacks, like getting to meet, and I feel guilty because I mean, we sent him out there like against, a really good football team and was probably unprepared, because we just didn't have the time to meet. But our kids were friggin' resilient. Like they're the best. Like I can't say enough about like our communities. Me and my wife, we've wanted a place like this for a long time. Like we've wanted to be a part of something like this for a long time with people that like love you and like they love you, and it ain't got nothing to do with how many ball games you win or anything else, and that supports you. And I mean, we couldn't write enough thank you cards to people here, because I mean the way that they just kind of they accepted us in here. Like I'm a weird dude anyway. We talked about that, and like they kind of look at me funny sometimes, but they accept me for who I am, and then you find out how many, like, when people are willing to sacrifice something of their own, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's to make sure that you're okay, like those are special people. And I can't say, I can't thank people here, enough.
This community's crazy. Really good people, man.
Yeah, it's
different.
We are extremely blessed to be here.
Yes, I agree.
And it's not even just the people here. Like our kids, like our managers, our ball boys and girl, like to everybody. I watched this first spring scrimmage, like in the hospital room, and like we got a package that day, and every like ball boy and girl like had written a handwritten letter.
Jeez,
like,
that's awesome.
And like they sent it to us. Like
that's awesome.
Football coaches talk a lot about family, and they talk a lot about that, but that's what that means. Like that's what it is.
That's like real stuff.
Yeah, that's real family.
Yeah.
Like when they care enough to like take time out of their day to like, just to let you know, like, hey, we're thinking about you guys. Like we love y'all.
Like legit thinking about you.
100%. Like, and that's what you want. Like, who cares how many games you win? Like, who cares how many touchdowns you score? Like, who cares how much money you make? Yeah. Like, that's what we all want, right? That's what everybody wants. Like, we like nobody gets into this to be rich or to be famous or anything like that. Like, you just want a place where you feel like you belong and you feel like accepts you and that loves you and wants the best for you, and then you can reciprocate that with their kids. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what we have here, and that's what we've been able to kind of build in a year and a half going into year 2. So I love our staff. Our staff's awesome. I mean, we threw them into a weird situation too in the spring. Justin had to kind of take over like a little bit different role. Like, not only was he trying to coordinate the defense, but now he's trying to run it too at the same time. And then offensively, you got Coach T and Coach Cargill and Coach Romano, and we picked up Coach Lamb and Coach Pointer. Like, those guys just kind of did it. I mean, like, we didn't have any choice. It wasn't like they were like, I don't know what we're going to do here. Like, I can't, and like they did an awesome job, and then not to mention the rest of the defensive staff. Not only did they have to pick up extra slack because Coach Bowen's now having to do all the other stuff, like, but you got like, Coach Knott, you got Coach Scoop, and then we added, Coach Brooks. Like, those guys did, like, they ran it. They ran the program, and they mean a ton to me. Like, I love those guys there. They text me still, like Coach Scoop come in today and he's like, how's that little girl today? Like, that's the first thing he asked me. Like, he don't care about me, Like, no, I'm just kidding. Like, that's what you want. Like, that's where you want to be. Like, that's the type of people that you want to work with. Like, that's the fun part. Mm-hmm. That's the fun part. And like the coaching community, I mean, people can say what they want to, and like, you know, social media has its own issues, but the coaching community, the social media, like that aspect of it, like the group, the coaching community it's awesome. I mean, coaches get it.
Yeah.
They get it. Like, they love each other. Like, we compete, but like at the end of the day, like, I mean, they whatever they got to do to help you, they'll help you. And you know, that's opened my eyes in a bunch of different ways.
It's real life stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and it changes your perspective of how you do this job.
Oh yeah.
Those 18 days changed the way I'll coach forever. Because, you know, you want to control everything. Like, as a coach, you want to control everything. You want to have all the control. And like, well, I don't like this because I can't control it, and so we're not going to do that. And then you get put in a situation where you don't control anything. I mean, and you're at the mercy of whatever happens. You know, I don't try to tell anybody what to believe or what they don't believe, but I know prayer works.
Oh, ain't no doubt about that.
And we're blessed to be where we are, and nothing happens by chance, right? I mean, so I think it was something that I needed, you know, and I shared this with our kids. I kept a little journal every day we were in there, and just so she would have it to look back on later on. And one day, like, I just was kind of writing, and I was like, obviously, like, feeling sorry for myself, like, you know, why I can't believe this happened? Like, why are we here? Why are we doing this? And you get like poor me's and all the stuff you tell your kids not to get, right? Mm-hmm. And then I just thought, like, well, who am I? Who am I to say, you know what? Like, no, I'm going to be that selfish that now I'm going to take away from a story that she's going to be able to tell and maybe affect somebody else's life. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not my choice to make. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not, you know, the good Lord gave her that issue for a reason, because she's going to use that and change somebody's life one day. I don't know when that day is going to be, but she's going to use that story, and she may change somebody's life, mm-hmm. right? And I just remember writing in that notebook, you are one of one. And I told our kids that. And like, I wanted, that just kind of resonated with me. Like, these kids we get every day, they are also one of one. Ain't nobody else like them. And, you know, like, it puts everything we do in perspective. Like, we are called to be a coach because we're supposed to be whatever they need us to be that day. And it changes day to day. Like, sometimes they need us to talk to them. Sometimes they just need us to listen to them. And that's what we're supposed to do. Like, we're supposed to be what they need us to be. Like, we all want to win. Like, we all going to compete, and we're all going to try to get better every day, and we're all going to try to win. And everybody's working today, and everybody's running sprints, and they're lifting weights. But at the end of the day, it's about what is the impact that we leave on our guys. Like, when they leave us, like, what is the impact going to be? And, you know, as a coach, I've lost sight of that at times. And I'll be the first one to admit that. And ultimately, like, my only responsibility is to have these kids, when they leave us, be better than they were when they got here. Regardless of what the win-loss record looks like. Because ultimately, that don't really matter. I told some kids in here the other day, when you leave this program, you're not going to remember the games. You're not going to talk about, oh, you remember that play. You're going to miss sitting in that locker room and just having a good time with your buddies. That's what you're going to miss. Mm-hmm. And that's the greatest part about high school sports. That's the greatest part about the whole thing.
Character building.
Without a doubt. You know, and that's what we want to have. That's what the atmosphere we want here. Like, we don't get to control a whole lot, but we can control the environment that we have here. Mm-hmm. And when our kids get to be here, like, we can control the impact that we can have on them by how we coach them and really just how we treat them.
No doubt.
And it's been an incredible off season. It's been an incredible off season. Like, I was so glad to see them today. We took 2 weeks off after the spring game, and felt like the longest 2 weeks I can imagine. Like, it felt like it's 2 months, you know. And I was just glad to have them back.
No doubt. Now, one thing I really loved that you said as soon as you arrived here, no excuses. And I'm not going to say we're young. I'm not going to say any of that crap because what am I going to look these seniors in their eyes and tell them, hey, we're young, so we're not going to win this year. You said no. That's the number one thing I liked about you when I met you. And how important was that to drive that home, and how much further down the road do you think that's put your overall program that you came in with that mentality, no excuses, and attacked and wanted to win for those seniors last year and did win for those seniors and told them it could be done and they could be the men to do it. That foundation was built. How important was that?
So I think that if we're going to build a program based on relationships, which is what I've always wanted to do, we can't throw those relationships away for the guys that, you know, are on their way out, I guess, per se. So, you know, we don't know another way to do it, really. Like, I don't think anybody on this staff knows another way to do it. I mean, we knew where we were. We knew we were losing a ton of guys. I think that I can't remember the exact number of guys we had graduate. There's a bunch, you know, and people would say like we were a little bit inexperienced, but I know this, like they came to work every single day. And I don't think you can come in and be like, hey, it's all right. No matter what happens, year zero is a throwaway year. Because I've heard people say, well, coaches don't have a year one. The first year is not year one, it's year zero. Like, I don't believe that. Like, I don't believe we should have to throw a year away because then it's not about relationships. Like, when you say that as a coach, now it's almost like, hey, look, don't judge me off this first one. Like, no, man, this is what you walked in. This is what you signed up for. Like, good, bad, ugly, we getting judged for what happens. And we're going to get judged by how we treat these cats. And, I mean, that's what we do. Like, that's our job is to find ways to make our kids successful and put them in situations to be successful. And let them know, like, hey, if you're not, like, that's okay too. Like, that's all right too. Like, just because we don't succeed doesn't make us a failure. Like, I think that's a huge misconception that people have. And some people see 5 and 6 and, you know, get blew out in the playoffs and that's a failure. I don't see it that way. Like, I think we got a lot better. Like, I think we grew a ton from the time we started to the time we finished. And it, you know, ultimately wasn't necessarily what they wanted. I mean, they deserve to be able to compete for a championship. Like, I think every class does because of the way they worked, you know. And we wanted to give them that opportunity. And ultimately, we played a really good football team that ended up beating us. I mean, they were pretty good, you know. I mean,
they're pretty solid.
But our kids never quit. I mean, you take that one game out of – you take the one game, like, and when I looked at it as a whole, like, that one game was the only game when we didn't have a chance to win it in the fourth. And that's what we asked them to do. Like, when we first got here, we said, look, if we will do these things this week, we'll give ourselves a chance to win it in the fourth, and that's all you can ask your kids. You can't control some of the other stuff. But if you compete hard enough and give yourself a chance to win it in the fourth quarter, it's really all you can ask your kids to do. Then it comes down to you. Like, can you make the right call to give them the best chance to be successful? And sometimes we did, and sometimes we didn't. And it's our job to get better. Not for us or for anything, but for our kids because they deserve that. So I think coming in year one and making it about, look, we got to find a way to be successful. We got to find a way to get better every day. We got to find a way to change what you think your best is. I think we did that. Like, I think that was the groundwork of what we needed to do to build this program to what it needs to be. I mean, I talked to a guy today and I said, look, there's people that's going to, they laugh at us because we think we're big time. Well, look, to us, we are big time. Like, because these kids deserve it to be big time. Like, if we wasn't asking them to spend as many hours as they are up here, but maybe not. But that's what they deserve. So it don't matter what anybody else really thinks about what we're doing or what we put out, because we ask the most from these kids and we give them the least. We're asking them to work 7 months for 10 opportunities to get an 11th. Like, you know, that's what we're gonna try to make it big time for them. If we can make it big time, we're gonna do it.
No doubt.
And then, you know, we're not apologetic about that. Like, we love these kids hard. They work hard, and they deserve everything we can give them. And they deserve our best every day. And if we don't come in here and we don't have a good day, then we didn't do our job that day.
What's your number one focus this offseason? There got to be something that, you know, you got to address and attack, and something that I got to get this squared away so we can be successful and peaking at the right time?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think we to be honest with you, I was the issue. I was the problem because I felt like I grinded them up. We grinded them up early on. We grinded them up from March. We grinded them up in the spring. We grinded them in June, in July, and we peaked about week 4. And then we didn't have anything left. And then I didn't do a good job coaching each kid. Like I felt like, well, I've coached like this before. Like this is supposed to work with this guy, and it didn't. With some of them, and there ain't nobody else to blame for that. That's my fault. And so to me, like the number one priority is making sure I'm a better coach for them. Obviously, like we had schematically stuff, offensively, defensively. I think we've gotten better. When I look at it from last year, like we need to be a little bit better up front offensively, and then I watch us play in the spring game, and I'm like, shoot, we got better up front offensively. And then when you look at us in the back end, like, hey, like, well, we're losing some guys in the secondary, like, are we gonna be able to replace them? And I watch our kids in the secondary, and like we had some young dudes out there. I'm like, man, they look good. Like we got better right here. But to me, the overall atmosphere when they walk in this place and the way they feel like we add value to them, that had to change some. And I think it has so far. Like I've been really, really excited about, I guess, the relationships that we have inside the building. And this is the first time we've not gone 4 days a week in June. As a head coach, I've always gone 4 days a week in June. And I asked some kids, I asked them, like, look, hey, be honest with me. Like, were we exhausted? Like, did we condition too much? And they're like, Coach, we were gassed. And, like, if you want to be like, they're the ones that do it. Like, we can program it and people can think it's soft and they can think whatever. But, like, ultimately, they're the ones that's having to go through that every day. And so, I'd said last year, like, I'm going to do everything y'all do. And then I had knee surgery, right? So I didn't get to do everything they did last year. But I told the guys when they walked in, like, whatever they did today, I did it with them. Like, I'm going to do it with them. I'm going to do it with you. Like, if I'm going to ask you to do it, I'm going to do it too. And if it's something that we can't do and we don't need to do it, then it's not going to make us better. We'll stop doing it. But the number one thing is to find a way to peak at the right time. We want to be a playoff team. Never had 3 years in a row here since they started playing football that they've been a playoff qualifier back-to-back years. And it's a tall order. I know we dropped from 6 to 5, but when you look top to bottom in the region that we're in going into, there's going to be some good football teams sitting at the house that first week of the playoffs. And so, I told our kids, the good news and the bad news about our schedule is that if you play really well for 10 weeks, you give yourself a chance to be 10-0. And if you don't, you got a good chance of being 0-10. And if you, as a coach, that's really all you can ask for.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
So
it don't get any easier.
without a doubt.
People, the misperception, a lot of people think, oh, it went down. No, it don't get any easier. People don't realize that you sat of that frying pan in the oven at this point.
Without a doubt. You look at teams that, I guess historically when you find them, when you see them in the playoffs, you're like, man, it's a tough draw. We open with Guntersville. Like, people are going to be like, that's a tough draw. Coach Reese does an awesome job.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get Hoax Bluff, which is a rivalry game. Like, like that could go. Everybody knows what the record is there in that rivalry. And then in our region, like week in and week out, like you got Leeds, Alexandria, Lincoln, St. Clair, Springville, Moody. Like, there's really good coaches in this region. There's really good football teams. There's well-coached football teams. There's great players in the region. Like, it's not I know we dropped down, but at the same time, I can't sit here and tell our guys, hey, it's gonna be a lot easier because we dropped the classification.
That's right.
It's a deep region. It is a deep region, and then you talk about Boaz and Etowah or the other two non-region games. Like Boaz, they're a playoff team, both of them. Boaz, Etowah, both playoff teams. And I like two coaches that I respect a ton. Like, so it's going to be a fun season because there is no hey, we're looking to the next one. I mean, there is no look to the next one. Like, you better be focused on that one, or you're gonna get your eyeballs beat in on Friday. Which is fun. Like, as a coach, it makes like the preparation. They know, like, we can't, like, there is no taking this week off because we're looking to this team next week. You take that one off, you're gonna get beat.
That's right.
I mean, and
Ain't
so
no question about it.
yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited to watch our guys prepare. They've done everything we've asked them to do. I mean, I can't imagine that we're gonna get into the season and it's gonna be any different.
I mean, you see coaches like Jake Gaines and Matt Glover moving in on this schedule.
Absolutely.
And you're sitting here and you're like, man, these guys are coming from Clay and Thompson.
Yeah,
winning.
absolutely.
They're bringing that championship mentality to these teams, and you're like, this don't get any easier.
No, nothing gets easier. Like, nothing's got easier. I mean, but as a competitor, that's what you want. Like, you want to find out, you want to see how good you are. Like, how do you measure up? How do you stack up against these teams?
I love it.
And that's all you can ask for, right? So,
what is your final thoughts this off season? Just overall thoughts. I'm gonna give the floor to you to kind of close it out. Heading into this very important next 8 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I told our guys this morning, the first thing I told them when they got here, I said, look, winners and losers all have the same goal. Like, winners and losers all have the same goal. So we have to figure out, like, what are we willing to sacrifice to give ourselves an opportunity to accomplish the goal that we want to accomplish. And that's going to be the separator. Like, what are we willing to sacrifice? Is it screen time? Is it, hanging out with your friends? Is it make like something as easy as, like, hey, put your PlayStation or your Xbox or wherever, like, put that down. Let's get a little bit of sleep. We go kind of early because it's out of necessity. We got multi-sport guys, so as soon as they leave us, they go, maybe they may go to wrestling, they may go to basketball, they may go to baseball, like whatever they go to. And so, like, we go at 6. Well, if you go to sleep at 3:30, it's going to be fairly impossible to be your best at 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
And our guys are in here. We have what we call, like, your individual activation in the House of Pain, like from 5:45 to 6, and then we go into where, like, we split it up and we go, like, our team activation stuff. Well, if you're getting 2.5 to 3 hours of sleep at night, it's going to be nearly impossible to be your best when you walk in here. And so, are you willing to sacrifice, maybe staying up late playing a video game to make sure, like, look, I got to go to sleep. And we got a couple guys that probably need to gain a little weight. Like, well, it's sometimes you don't want to eat. Maybe sometimes I don't want to eat that night. Like, it's 9:45. I don't want to eat this last meal. Well, is it about how you feel, or is it about what our standard's going to be? And I think that's the thing that this group's going to answer. And we don't know the answer right now, and we're probably not going to know the answer for a couple more weeks. But ultimately, our biggest deal is going to be is our standard good enough that we sacrifice what we needed to sacrifice to accomplish the goals that we wanted to accomplish. And this group has shown me nothing to kind of give me an idea that they're not going to. I think this group we got a lot of selfless kids on this group. It was probably about, I don't know, it's like 10:30 one night. First night of spring, first week of spring. It's about 10:30, and I was still meeting with some offensive coaches, and we was doing it virtually, and we're going to walk back into the coach's office, and we got 2 older linebackers that still had the younger linebackers in that room. No coaches in there, just two of our leader linebackers. We're teaching the younger guys, hey, look, this is what we're putting in tomorrow, so make sure y'all are good with this. Like, that's
At
awesome.
10:30?
Yeah, like, that is awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like, nobody told them they had to be there. Like, if we wouldn't still been meeting, nobody would even have known they were there.
That's awesome.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's more like, yeah. Is that gonna translate to wins? I don't know, but I know this. Like, if you're willing to do that and you're willing to be a leader, it's going to translate to you being a pretty good employee one day, or you being a pretty good boss one day, or you being a pretty good dad one day.
Yeah.
Like, I know that.
Yeah.
So I'm.
What do you do when no one's looking?
Yeah, I'm excited about this group. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about getting to work with these guys again. Our second year in it. Like, I love being around them. and I like being here. And it makes it fun when you get to come to work with guys that make you better every day.
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel like that's what we have here.
No doubt. Congratulations on the baby girl. Glad you guys are back home safe, and looking forward to covering you guys this upcoming season.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Good luck to you guys, Coach.
Thanks.